Fran Lab. Should I start a new section about books? Because I have the science news and I have pen and pencils. I should do a brand new kind of section that's just about books. And I should call it something cool, like talking about books or something like that. Because I want to talk about this one because this is the new Neil deGrasse Tyson book, Take Me to Your Leader, right? Dr. Neil, Perspectives on Your First Alien Encounter. It's a light read. You could feasibly read the whole book in one sitting. If you didn't go for a pee break, you could go through the whole thing in one sitting. I went through, I pretty much went through like most of the book in like one afternoon. I really like Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I like his style. I watched Star Talk. If you watch Star Talk, this is pretty much in that vein. His writing style is very down to earth. It doesn't talk down to you, but he's using a lot of it's an educational thing. He's going through history. The book is basically looking back at the cultural history of aliens, thinking about aliens in popular culture, movies, books, music, and also talking about ufology and some of the cultural impacts, the idea of UFOs and stuff like that. But it's really talking about the culture that's revolved over the last 150 years. The Mars craze of like the 1880s, that's this other book here, The Martians. This is a great book. I really enjoyed this. David Barron. I always knew about the Mars craze, and until I read this book, I really didn't have any appreciation for the scale of the mania. But this is a really interesting book. He goes into great detail going into the Mars craze happened mostly, honestly, because of Percival Lowell. Although not single-handedly. The book goes into the earlier, sort of the things that led up to the mania. But really it was Lowell and his drawings, which started out innocently enough, like, he started doing sketches like this of what he was seeing through his telescope, just simple pencil drawings. And then over the course of months, years, he was refining his drawings into like really, really detailed sketches. Like, whoa, like there. Really detailed sketches of canals and realizing that these canals they're going from the poles and they're moving water and all of this narrative, the grandiose narrative that came out of his observations, which were flawed because even though Percival Lowell had all these drawings and published books, published 3 books over the course of like 5, 6, 7 years, with expansive texts of what the Martians were like and how they lived and what they were doing and what their technology was like. It was all fantastic and wasn't based on anything. And even though astronomers all over the world who had equally powerful telescopes, and there's a part of the Neil deGrasse Tyson book where he's talking about this very thing, about how other astronomers across the world had equally powerful telescopes to what Lowell had, but they couldn't see any of these features. And so, it was because Lowell was making it all up in his mind. It was all this perceptual bias. And so The Martians is an interesting book because it's really about this very interesting time in the modern world where during the late 1800s, turn of the 20th century, early 20th century, we're talking like between like 1880 and like 1920, 30, we had all these new technologies, or things that would become technologies: electricity, the telephone, photography, these technologies which would become like anchors of science. But at a time when for the most part, people were still very mystical. And so there was, during the Victorian era, the late 1800s, early 1900s, there was a great deal of mysticism, like photographing spirits and using radios to talk to the dead, and the Tesla coils. There was this mixture of spiritualism, religiosity, and technology that was not understood to create all kinds of manias, spiritualism and everything. There's all this kind of mixed up in the Martian craze that happened. And it was, a surprisingly long period of time, too. It really wasn't until telescopes got really big enough and high resolution enough, and until we really started gaining some more knowledge about astrophysics and such, that we really started getting better looks at Mars. But I recommend both of these. I did enjoy the Dr. Neil book. Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he gets criticized, especially people in the ufology community, for not fully embracing things that people in the ufology community would embrace, but he's a scientist. And I myself, as someone who, full disclosure, as someone who has personally seen a flying saucer myself, I still remain a scientist at heart, and I still remain a skeptic. I have never claimed that the object that I saw with my own eyes and that I did actually photograph, I've never claimed that the object that I saw is an alien spacecraft. It is a flying saucer, but what it was, I have no idea. And so, but Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he has never ever dismissed any of the observations that people have made. It's simply he remains a scientist. It's like, so Carl Sagan said, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And it's the thing that even I myself do not have. I took a really crappy digital photograph of the object when it was too far away really to get any kind of resolution, but I did see it personally very close up, and I have no idea what it was. But even I will not make conclusions. It's very important not to lose your scientific footing. Even when you see something extraordinary, a scientist would say, well, I saw something extraordinary. What is it? I have no idea. But I'm not going to give up being a scientist just because I saw something extraordinary. It was something extraordinary. And I will almost likely never know what it was that I saw. But the thing is that because of the search for getting to the bottom of UFO sightings, Project Blue Book and other things, and the decades of serious scientific research that have gone into really strange phenomena, we've learned so much in the last 50 years about natural phenomena that were reported as unidentified flying objects, strange kinds of clouds, strange kinds of auroras, ball lightning, St. Elmo's fire, all kinds of plasmas and auroras and ionizations in the atmosphere, things that had been seen for decades, for centuries, that weren't given any kind of serious scientific thought. It's in looking to find out what these things were, a lot has been discovered. Earthquake lightning, the ball lightning that occurs around fault lines, the compression of quartz crystals that create plasma discharges. There's all kinds of really out there phenomena that forever was just mysterious, that became discovered and known because serious scientific thought and research went to finding out what causes these phenomena. So I don't think we're anywhere near the end of what these objects are, but the fact is people see them. I've seen them. I've known other people throughout my life who have also seen the same object that I saw, and they couldn't explain it either. So it's like, yes, things are seen, but what are they? We don't know. And so Dr. Neil keeps that door open. But, just like with Carl Sagan, there's no one who wants to get to the bottom of, extraterrestrial life than serious scientists. And Neil deGrasse Tyson book is all loaded with that. I think actually on the back of the dust cover, he says, think of Take Me to Your Leader, this book, as a book of etiquette for close encounters, or perhaps a scientifically infused user's manual with helpful hints from an astrophysicist who wants to meet the aliens as badly as you do. So that's a pretty good synopsis of the book. I enjoyed it. It's a light read. I enjoyed it. The Martians, this is a pretty incredible book. If you really want to learn about the history of the Mars mania that struck the country, well, not just the United States, but all over the world, this is a really cool book. I enjoyed this one as much as Falling Upwards, which was which is another book about ballooning, which until I had read that book, I had no idea about the scale of human flight before the Wright brothers. But man, but these two books go together, The Martians and Take Me to Your Leader, just because they kind of cross over. If you read one, you can read the other. I'd read the Dr. Neil book first, and then this is like extra reading, because this is like, you know, the heavy book. But yeah, there you go. All right, Stuart says, I wonder if humans want to meet themselves. Well, ultimately, yeah. You know, ultimately. In the lab. That's where I work. In the lab. Go berserk. In my lab. That's where I work. That's what you're watching. Friend lab. That's what I'm doing. Working at the bench again. I'm Fran.